Well, hey everybody, I'm glad you're with me, and hopefully you're going to get your questions in. A few things I want to go over before we get started because we have certainly got some car news. Tomorrow, BMW is going to be showing their new 4 Series. So the 4 Series is the two-door version of the 3 Series. Lots of discussion about the concept vehicle that had these huge, ugly grills. And I believe, I'm going to see if I have, no, I didn't, maybe I did. Did I put one up here? Oh, shoot, I think I maybe forgot to load it. Alex from Montreal sent me an Instagram post of somebody sort of done a sneak preview of it. But anyway, what I'm here to tell you is they're going to have a reveal. They'll have video available. What I'll do is I'll package together a little video for you guys, and it'll be up tomorrow. I also got an email this morning from Lexus. Lexus is going to be showing the new IS, the Lexus IS, on June the 9th. Same thing, I'll get something together and I'll put it out about that car. So we're in this new cycle of cars being revealed virtually, and that's an interesting thing that we're living through as auto journalists talking about cars. So there was one this week I did also. So yeah, there certainly is new product information coming out. There's new products coming out. The car companies need to keep that going. What else is going on? Oh yeah, tomorrow morning there'll be a video on the Porsche 968. I had a chance to drive last week. A really fun car. And by the way, if you're interested in getting one-on-one car advice, I do offer that service through Patreon. For $150, I will talk to you on the phone personally. I will also do emails with you. And if it's, people are looking for car advice and they want some guidance to help them choose, more specifically, I'm here to do that. So go to the Patreon link and you can get to me that way. All right, what else do I want to say? That's about it. All right, let's get into what's going on with our pictures and questions. We have 2 questions coming in. The first one is from Daniel, who lives in Rimouski, Quebec, and here it goes.
Hi Zach, this is Daniel from Rimouski, Quebec. My son David wants to buy a new car and he hesitates between Mercedes A220 or Lexus ES300 four-wheel drive. We need your advice. Thank you.
Well, first of all, Daniel, thank you for being a regular contributor to the channel. He's sent in pictures in the past and is always here. So first of all, I want to say, Daniel, you don't look old enough to have a kid who is buying either a Mercedes-Benz or a Lexus IS. And congratulations to you that he's that successful that he can choose one of those cars. I would say, because of the news I received this morning from Lexus, I would say the Lexus IS is one of 2 things. It's either going to be a great value, you're going to get some excuse me, deals on the existing car, some great rebates and discounts and all those sorts of things, or maybe wait, once you've seen the new Lexus IS, he might want to hold off on that. Right now, if it was between those 2 cars, reliability excluded, I would probably go with the A-Class from Mercedes-Benz. It's funny, I just picked up this morning the Mercedes-Benz CLA, which is sort of the coupe version of the A-Class. So, having a chance to drive it again, I drove it last year in Europe. We were in Stuttgart getting a chance to drive it. And I really do like the new small class of cars from Mercedes-Benz. So right now, I would say A-Class. Let's wait until June 9th to find out more. And of course, Alex in Israel is always a regular contributor with another question.
Hey Zach, how are you? And it's a beautiful sunshine weather. And my question for today is, I saw your video about CHR and the Nissan Qashqai. Both of them, it's petrol engines. And me in Israel, we get only the hybrid version of the CHR Toyota. And the turbocharged 1.3 liter 165 horsepower of the Qashqai. I drove them both and I don't like the CHR. It's for me too claustrophobic, too small, and the Qashqai for me it's pointless to buy an SUV this small size. And I saw your video of Nissan Sentra, the last one, and for me, it's a better choice than the Qashqai. Your thoughts, and do you know where you go get CHR hybrid in Canada? Thank you.
Well, thank you, Alex, for sending in yet another video question. And if you want to get a video question or a picture of your car on the live channel, the live show, I should say, send it to me, Zach@motormouth.ca, Zach@motormouth.ca, Z-A-C-K, not C-H, Z-A-C-K. Well, first thing about the CHR hybrid, it is sold around the world. It has not been introduced into the North American marketplace, but the CHR hybrid is a perfect candidate when they come up with a model refresh that they will introduce that. Toyota has made a statement that all of their vehicles in their lineup will have an electrified option by 2025. So that's only 4 model years away. So almost a guarantee that when they refresh the CHR for the North American market, they will bring in a hybrid version, same as they have in other parts of the world. I believe that they didn't want to do that because it's the same technology and the same platform that they use in the Lexus UX. That is available with the hybrid all-wheel drive system in that product lineup, so maybe they didn't want to cannibalize Lexus sales. Now, the Qashqai is kind of a new entry into North America. It's sold as the Rogue Sport in the United States. It's sold as the original name, Qashqai, here in Canada. I think it's basically one of those things that the product is much more mature in other parts of the world, certainly in Europe. I think it's the best-selling compact crossover in Europe is the Qashqai, sold with diesel engines, as you mentioned, turbocharged engines. I think they just came with a simplified mix of one engine choice for the North American market, a good size 2-liter that fulfills the needs of most people. We have different driving styles here, a lot more long distance travel, a lot of highway driving versus, you know, smaller communities like Europe. So I think that's the best answer I can give you. Okay, let's get into the questions now and see what we're looking at today. John says, hey, Zach, I understand. Oh, by the way, before we get into the questions, so we're here on a Monday. We haven't done a Monday live show in a long time. So if you missed the last live show, it's now Monday and Thursday. There's no more Sunday show. So I'm gone from 3 times a week down to 2 times a week, okay? So it's now Monday and Thursday at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Hey, Zach, I understand there is a cutoff date to factory order a 2020 vehicle before they start building to 2021. No one seems to know. Do you know the date, or could you recommend a date for me? It really depends on the manufacturer, because obviously an import manufacturer, if the vehicle is still made overseas, like a German car, it's about 3 months from when the vehicle is made to when it gets to the dealership, roughly. So you have to back time that to when the new models will be coming in. Now, this is during regular times. During COVID-19, we're in a whole different situation now, where production is starting up and they're trying to get it going around the world, but it's much slower than it has been. Now, I haven't heard officially what's happened with certain brands, but there is a theory that some, maybe one of the domestics, instead of starting up 2020 production again, they might just switch to 2021 production. So it really depends on the manufacturer. It really depends on where the cars are made and how long they're going to take from production to get to you. I think you really, if you're interested in a specific model and a specific brand, you have to speak to the dealer, the general sales manager, and find out what their ordering process is. If it was me and I was going to custom order a car, I would wait and order a 2021 whenever that is available. Mike Shaw is doing the super chat. You can do that as well if you want to contribute to the channel. Instead of typing in regularly, you can hit the little $sign, get a little bit of something through to the channel, and also get your question asked. Mike says, hey, Zach, your thoughts on engine exhaust sounds? I hear so much emphasis from car enthusiasts, YouTube reviewers. Not sure I understand why. Well, I think because the sound of a car is really its personality. That's really what cars get their personality. When you hear a Mustang GT with the beautiful throaty exhaust sound of a V8 engine, it would be a totally different car if it just went brrr, just purred along like a little kitten. It wouldn't be the same. And I can give you one piece of not just anecdotal evidence, but actually research. Porsche did a study of their ownership, and the number one thing that a lot of people liked about their car versus other cars they had owned is the sound of the car. So Porsches, especially sports cars and even some of the utilities, have a different sound, and that is part of the sort of the performance aspect. So the sound of the car has to kind of match its performance, and I think that's what a lot of YouTubers talk about. Hi, Zach. Have you seen or driven the Roof CTR3 or other Roof product models? I think they're amazing. I've seen, you know, I used to, well, I was supposed to go to the Geneva Motor Show this year, but my favorite display at the Geneva Motor Show is always the Roof display. And Roof is, for those that are not aware, a specialty upfitter of Porsche cars, and they have some really incredible machines, beautiful coach work they do as well. So no, I've never had a chance to drive a Roof Porsche. Hi, Zach. Ever have one of your fanboys say hi to you in public? Enjoying a Coke with my sandwich. Cheers. Yeah, sure. I get people come up to me all the time and recognize me. Now, I should qualify that because in British Columbia, where I live in Vancouver, I did morning TV for 10 years. So I was on the #1 television channel outside of Toronto in Western Canada for 10 years. So, and that show was on like 3.5 hours a day. So a lot of people recognize me from when I did that, and I stopped doing daily TV in 2006. So it's been, you know, almost 15 years. But a lot of people still recognize me from doing the TV or the regular TV. So yeah, I get people come up to me all the time. So one of the fun ones was we were in Paris for the auto show about 3 or 4 years ago, and we're standing near the Eiffel Tower. There's the steps up on the one side where you look over the Eiffel Tower, and I was there with Brian Chow from Everyday Reviews, and I was also there with Thomas Tetzlaff from Volkswagen Canada, who was our host. And this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Motormouth Canada, I know you. I recognize your voice. I was standing here with my wife and I heard your voice and I knew right away it was you." So yeah, people recognize me. I've been recognized in Spain and other places. It's fun. Andrew says, Volkswagen Canada is now offering 0% interest and free maintenance until June 1st. Your thoughts? Thanks. Andrew, first of all, if you haven't signed up for Car Cost Canada, please do so because you will be able to get all of the incentives and rebates and any hidden incentives and rebates through, because that is really where you're going to save the most money. I think that we are just at the beginning of the incentives. Like basically things are just becoming unlocked. So now we're into June. I'm not sure if this is the June incentive you're talking about, but come July, there'll be even more incentives. And I think that signing up for Car Cost Canada, use the promo code Motormouth, become an expert member, unlock those extra searches. You're going to see a trend, in my opinion, over the next several months where I think the deals are going to get even better. So 0% is as low as you can go for interest rates. Maintenance is great. You're going to see brands adding in more dollars on the hood and maybe some other things as well. So that's something to definitely watch. Hi, Zach. Are you able to travel and review new cars now or in the near future? No, there's no talk at all in our industry about getting back on the road. And if you're watching this regularly, you know I travel all the time. I would be gone pretty much every single week to a car event, reviewing cars on the road, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. I think maybe this fall there might be some regional car events, regional meaning in Canada. I don't think we'll be traveling to the United States to do any launches because of the quarantine. When you come back, you're going to have to quarantine for 14 days. So I'm not going to do that. Why would I take myself off the road literally for 2 weeks just to go and test drive a new car? I'll wait till the car arrives here in Canada. I think we're probably going to see regional stuff, meaning maybe having a chance to fly to Toronto and test drive a car there might be the case. Mac Daddy says, I have a 2-segment question below, thanks. See, Mac Daddy, I see what you did. You did the $5 super chat to get a longer question in below instead of paying for the longer question, but that's okay because I love your ingenuity. Let me go down here and see what I have here. I gotta find it now. Hey Zach, awesome content. Keep it up. I have a 13 white Cayenne diesel. Good for you. I have a white Cayenne diesel as well. Super extended certified pre-owned type warranty expires in a few months. Dealer is offering to extend it 2 more years, $5,000. So 13, $5,000 for 2 years. I also have a 16 Macan Turbo. A colleague of mine has the same Porsche combo. Replaced transfer case for both in Cayenne and Macan at 35,000 kilometers. Yeah, the transfer case on those older ones was a known issue. $5,000 would be easy to spend at a Porsche dealership for a repair. Now, what I want you to check, because the dealer is probably not giving you all of the information on this, is the car had a 6-year warranty extended. So you had 4-year bumper to bumper, and then they extended that basically for another 2 years. So I'm wondering if that's it. A lot of the, there is a 10-year warranty on a lot of the components for the Dieselgate situation. So the exhaust, the fuel system, the injectors, a lot of the stuff that's expensive to fix. Now, a lot of things are not covered, but the engine itself, the valves, all of that is covered for up to 10 years. So double check what the actual settlement was and how it affects your individual situation. I can't tell you. All I know is I have a 16 Cayenne diesel that was never registered, so I get the full 10 years. You might be in a different situation. So that's all I can really say just about that. $5,000 for 2 years seems kind of high. Shop around, see if you can get a better deal than that, okay? Hey Zach, 17 Kia Sportage or Hyundai Tucson, which would be better? Same car, basically. One is made by Kia and one is made by Hyundai. It's same engine, same transmission, same platform, same electronics, basically. Choose the one you like better. It's really the same vehicle. Musa says, hey Zach, thank you for replying to my email earlier. Much appreciated. Well, you're welcome. I just realized there were some pictures I downloaded and I forgot to upload them into my program. So if I missed your picture, like Don Collier sent one to me a day or so ago, and I forgot to upload it. So I apologize. I'll do that next time around. Raj is saying, do you think one of the American manufacturers will make an all-electric pickup truck? Yes, Ford is going to be making a full electric F-150. They have announced that. It is happening. They're doing it in combination with Rivian. Rivian will also have a pickup truck. Tesla, as we've heard, is going to be coming with their vehicle. So I think that, yeah, it's coming. I think the reveal of the F-150 full electric will be soon. Oh, by the way, that's another vehicle. I got an invite from Ford to go to an exclusive, not go, but virtually to a deep dive on the new F-150, and then they're going to have a reveal of it. So by the time I can do the video, I will have known everything about it. So I am going to sign up for that, and I'm going to go into the deep dive with Ford on the F-150 because I just like to nerd out on stuff like that. So yeah, I'll give you more information on that. Portuguese Water Dog, nice to have you back, Mr. Dog. Very jealous of BC barbers being open. I need a haircut. What are your thoughts on lease takeovers? Can a PPI help identify wear and tear? Can a pre-purchase inspection? Well, what I would suggest is, yeah, wait it out until you can get your haircut. It's probably been almost 3 months for you, I'm sure. It took me, it was 10 weeks for me, and boy, I was so glad to get a haircut. A lease takeover is a great way to to go about it. Lease Busters is the same company that owns Car Cost Canada, so I'm familiar with their product. And I think that you can get some good deals. Here's the thing is, for example, say someone's in a situation, a crappy situation, maybe they own a restaurant and during COVID-19, their restaurant basically has evaporated. They want to get rid of expenses and they think, I've got this, $600 a month lease on this, whatever it is, I want to get rid of it. They will be motivated to move that lease on. So there will be some good deals, I would suspect, for lease takeovers. What I would suggest you do is before you take the lease over, it's not a bad idea to send it to a dealership. Maybe you don't have to go through a PPI, but you could definitely get them to have a look at the vehicle for any sort of obvious signs of damage or anything like that. I would definitely do that. Wee Haggis is here. Hi, Nick. Thanks for being here. Hey, Zach. What luxury car do you prefer, a Rolls-Royce Phantom or a Bentley Continental, Mercedes E-Class, or BMW M5? Well, my sports car sort of brain says M5, but I think Rolls-Royce all day long. Well, you think about it. You get the best of both worlds because BMW owns Rolls-Royce. So yeah, Rolls-Royce for sure. The Bentley Continental doesn't do anything for me. E-Class, not so much. It would be Rolls-Royce. Some of those Rolls-Royces are beautiful. Single malt, do you remember the Lexus GS 460? Excuse me. Last night, I bet my dad a case of Carlsberg that Lexus made a 4.6 liter V8 for this car and did 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. He lost the bet. Cheers. Yeah, they had the GS is one of those sort of real sleeper cars. And if you're looking for a sort of a mid to large premium sedan that, you could buy and maintain and drive easily for many years, a Lexus GS is a hell of a car. Nice size. You can get rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, hybrid even. Excuse me, I'm coughing a lot today. And even V8, as you can see. Hi, Zach. Is the Lexus GS continued or are we expecting a new one? Also, any updates on the Lexus 600 to replace the 570? Thank you. The Lexus GS is still on the website. I looked at this not too long ago. But I have heard rumors that the GS is going to go away. I don't have confirmation on that. Not sure about the LS. I want to ask, if I buy a car with an acoustic glass, would that take away from the engine noise in the cabin? Or should you suggest spending the money as an option? Thanks. Well, acoustic glass is sort of the double laminated glass they use mostly in the windshield, but in the side glass as well. And it does make a big, big difference. This is mostly reducing wind noise and road noise. So not so much the engine. The sound of the engine comes through the firewall. That's the metal sheet between the cabin and the engine bay. And a lot of times the amount of insulation they put in there determines how loud the engine is. Of course, the exhaust sound as well. So vehicles are all tuned for this. You spend a lot of time deciding on just how much engine noise is allowed into the cabin, how much is too much, how much is too little, how should the exhaust sound. The glass is going to really reduce wind and road noise, not so much engine noise. And will it take away from engine noise in the cabin? Would you suggest spending the money as an option? Well, the thing about acoustic glass is it does make the cabin more comfortable, especially on long trips. A lot of what makes you tired when you drive for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, the seat is one, but it's noise. It's noise fatigue. Noise is fatiguing. And that's why luxury cars are quieter and you drive for hours and you don't feel fatigued. And then when the cabin is quieter, then when you play music, you get to hear more of the music and less of the engine. So that's why they do it. Raj is saying, hey, what watch are you wearing today? I am wearing, what do I have on today? I've got it upside down for you. This is a Zodiac Seawolf that I bought just before Christmas, kind of my Christmas present to me. It's on an aftermarket Jubilee bracelet. It's blue on blue, and I just love the color of it. So that's why I have it. What's with the YouTube Google dashboard again? It's saying there's only 16 viewers. That's not the case. I know that's not the case. Hi, Zach. Are the differences between brands consistently getting smaller? And if so, why? Yeah, I would say on a few different metrics, the differences between brands are certainly getting smaller. One is quality. Quality overall through all brands is coming up. So there are high and low points. There's no question about it. One area where a lot of brands really struggle and stumble is in-dash electronics, infotainment screens. The brands that have that sorted out definitely seem to score higher. But generally, brands overall are improving their quality. Now, brands overall are improving their crash worthiness. That's an improvement that everybody is looking for. Now, more and more brands are adding in standard advanced safety features. We're seeing that. And then we're starting to see non-premium brands really offering premium features. Like if I put you in a fully loaded Toyota Avalon, is it really that much different from the Lexus ES? Same platform, one's a Lexus and one's a Toyota, but they look, you know, and have all of the same kinds of features. So when you're looking at premium brands, what really makes a premium car? Is it all the features? You can get almost all of those, if not all of those same features in non-premium cars. So a lot of it is marketing and brand appeal and heritage. And that's really what luxury is. Luxury is heritage. So yeah, I think the differences are getting smaller and smaller. Then you get the geographical differences. So you would have certainly a real sort of Asian feel to cars. Like when you saw a Japanese car in the 1990s, it just screamed, this is a Japanese car. When you saw a European car from the 1990s, it certainly looked European. Now it's all kind of getting squished together, and then the North Americans are taking the best of both. Some cars look quite European, other cars look quite Asian inspired, and so yeah, I would agree with you. It's all getting kind of mashed together now. Why do Japanese cars sold in North America always seem to be missing features from their Japanese domestic or European counterparts? Well, you know what? I hear over and over again that the same thing is true for the European cars that we get here, and we don't get the same features. It's just a case of streamlining the features and benefits of a certain brand for the market it's sold in. Some of the features you might get and a Japanese consumer would be willing to pay for, probably the research shows that North Americans, that's not higher on their priority list, and they're not willing to spend extra to get it. I can't even think of one off the top of my head, but I do know that, you know, for example, each company really tries to tailor what is important to that geographical region. So North Americans have quite different tastes than certainly Japanese buyers do. Japan's a small place, a lot of very small roads, and a lot of people take transit. Where in North America, we have much bigger open spaces, much more extreme weather, all those sorts of things. Raul says, hey Zach, what's your opinion on wheels? Usually the bigger wheels are what look better on large SUVs but sacrifice ride comfort. What's the recommended size? Well, I think with SUVs, it probably makes less of an important factor than a sedan, because with an SUV, you have the sidewall of the tire is the first point of contact, of course, on the road. It's the first line of absorption of impact going over a bump, but then the suspension does all its work, right? And with an SUV, you have much more suspension travel, meaning up and down, in a vehicle than you do in a car. Car sits lower to the ground. The travel in the suspension is shorter. So the tire impact has to take more of the absorption of that bump. So you could have a narrower tire on an SUV, but still a lot of travel in the suspension. So that's something to consider. Now, there are certain brands where I've said it over and over, BMW is one, where you drive a BMW vehicle, a utility with sports package and one without, and one with the larger wheel and one with the smaller wheel, it makes a marked difference. There's quite a big difference. So you really need to try them back to back. Is there an optimal size? No, I think you just need to try it, okay? And then you have the layer on top where sometimes they'll add in things like air suspension or adaptive suspension to really compensate for the bigger wheels. Hey Zach, I watched a review of the Elantra GT. Seems like a great car. Should VW be worried? No, VW should not be worried because Volkswagen set the gold standard with the GTI. The GTI is the GTI and it'll always be the GTI. The new GTI has been shown. It was shown in lieu of the Geneva Motor Show back in March, and I was supposed to go there. I was supposed to video it. I was supposed to do an interview with one of the head people at Volkswagen about it, so I was disappointed about that. And then they're going to bring out the new Golf R. So yes, what typically happens with these things is as brands get close to the already successful model, they come out with a new one. So it'll be interesting to see how that GTI drives. You shouldn't be, if you're considering that car, the GT, the Elantra GT, don't feel any sort of shame in buying that car. I said, if it's based just purely on budget, there is no problem me recommending the GT. I think it's a great little car. It offers a lot of miles per mile, and I would be happy to have one. If I could afford it, I would still get the GTI. Are you brand loyal when it comes to tires for your personal vehicles? I certainly have had good luck with certain brands. I think that I've had good luck with Toyo tires. I've done work with Toyo, and I've been given tires to review and kept them on my car and be very happy with them. I had them on our previous Cayenne. I had them on my previous 911. And I've got Toyo tires on my Toyota pickup truck. So I'm very happy with Toyo. They offer a lot of value. So you get a Japanese high quality tire, but not at the same price that you pay for a lot of other tires. I like Nokian winter tires for sure. I do like Michelin Pilot Sports. They're a fabulous tire. We had Dunlop tires on our A7. Didn't love those. Yeah, there's a lot of really good tire brands out there. Mac Daddy. Oh, you're asking about the Cayenne. Dwayne Rose says, hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. What are your thoughts on the Land Rover Defender? It has a lot of fans and a huge following. General, I'm not a fan of SUVs. I don't like the new Defender. It's not a Defender. The Defender is a body-on-frame truck the same way that Mercedes-Benz has the G-Wagon. Mercedes-Benz didn't throw the G-Wagon away like Land Rover has and then just stick their Defender name on a new unibody SUV like the rest of their lineup. I don't understand that. I think they could have kept a body-on-frame truck like the G-Wagon. Now G-Wagon is going to be the one that the real enthusiasts want. Eddie M says, smash that like button, people. I wish I had an updated dashboard, but for the last 2 weeks the dashboard for YouTube is not working and I don't know why. Fernando says, hey Zach, do you generally recommend a last year model of a generation or first year of the next generation? Thank you so much. Greetings from Spain. Nice to have you here. Well, certainly when it comes to reliability, the last year of a current model car is going to be the one where they've had the most issues worked out. There's no question about that. Now, there are always exceptions. I owned one. I had a 2001 E38 BMW 7 Series. It was the 740 IS, the same one they used in the James Bond car movie. Same color too, silver with the M-parallel wheels. I love the car. It was not reliable. I actually looked up the VIN number of that car and I bought it intentionally. It was built in the last month of production. Now, maybe they were drinking too much beer in the last month of production. I highly doubt it. But that car was not reliable. Historically, though, cars in their last year of production are more reliable than vehicles in their first year of production. And nice to have you here from Spain. Derek Tucker. I was supposed to go, no, was supposed to go to Spain? No, I went to Portugal. I didn't go to Spain. Hey, Zach, should I be worried about the reliability of my Dodge Durango with the Hemi? The Telluride review was great. Well, here's the thing. You've got 100,000 kilometers on your Durango, and has it been reliable? And you've got the Hemi. Well, sure, you're starting to get into that sort of mileage where things could start to happen to it. Are you in the position to get a new vehicle? If you really are worried about that, then just keep the Durango you have. There will certainly be things that come up after a certain number of kilometers and a certain number of years. Things will start to need to be worked on. But I've always said that often, you know, even if it's a few $1,000s, it's still way cheaper than buying a new car. You do get to that point though where it's like, I can't take any more of the repairs. I just got to move on. Not sure if you're there yet, but I got to tell you, Telluride. I like the Durango a lot. A lot of people, if they're looking for and I'd love to hear your thoughts, Derek, on whether you've enjoyed this vehicle, because I do like the Durango. If you're looking for a 3-row utility that handles well, the Durango is right at the top and also has some of the highest towing ratings. Zach, thanks for your advice. I'm a 59-year-old and my son is 27. Oh, that's from Danielle from Rimouski. I can't believe you got a 27-year-old. Well done. You're looking good there, brother. Keep up the good work. That's from Daniel, who did the question earlier. If you just tuned in, he had a video question at the beginning. And I said, Daniel, you look too young to have someone old enough to buy an A-Class Mercedes. So good for you. Kevin says, hi, Zach. What price range in Canadian dollars do you expect on the next-gen Mazda 6 with the straight 6 rear-wheel drive system? Well, first of all, that has not officially been announced, okay? Who knows? If they're trying to move the Mazda brand up market and they're going to come up with a real performance-oriented car to compete with, you know, vehicles like the new Acura TLX that was just shown, or maybe the new Lexus IS, or sort of those sorts of things, I don't know what the pricing is going to be. So let's wait to find out more about it. First of all, is it going to be a 400 horsepower car, or is it going to just be a regular Mazda 6 sedan? I don't know. What are your thoughts on the 2021 Lexus IS? Do you think they will retain the same engines or use the B58 like the Supra? I don't. My guess is, I don't know. I don't have no clue. We're going to find out on June 9th. If you're just tuning in now, I got an email this morning from Lexus. They're going to have a debut of the Lexus IS on June 9th. So that's just 8 days away. And I will do a video or whatever information I have on it, I will send it out. My guess is they're probably going to have turbo 4-cylinder. That would be my guess. And then what else do they have in the family? Yeah, and maybe a V6 option, but we'll have to wait and see. Hey, Zach, I'm looking for rims. What retailers do you recommend? I am a big fan of OEM wheels, okay? I like original equipment wheels on a car. So if you're looking for a larger wheel than the one your vehicle typically has, then look for the larger version of that wheel. You'll find them on Kijiji and Craigslist all day long, and they're pennies on the dollar to buy a used set of rims off somebody than to go and buy a brand new set of wheels. Now, if you like the look of a custom new wheel, there's lots of places to buy them. I don't have any specifics, but I have a Cayenne. Where is it? I'm going to show you. I have a Cayenne, and it came with, there it is, it came with 18-inch wheels, and then these are the 20-inch wheels. So those are original Porsche equipment wheels that I went and bought, and I bought them, like I said, on, I can't remember where I found them on Craigslist, but I bought them from this shop locally, and they were a fraction of what they were new. Okay, so that's what I would do. Vladimir says, hey Zach, why do most reviewers obsess with fake exhaust, or is it better to see black dirty pipes? I agree with you. It seems to be something that a lot of reviewers harp on, where they do the faux sort of trim on the back of the bumper that looks like exhaust pipes, or they have a large exhaust, outlet there, but inside it's just a little round pipe. And that's quite common. So they put this big sort of opening. It looks like the exhaust is that big. Where no, the exhaust inside is like that big, and then they put the opening that big. I'm not obsessed with it. I like the design of a vehicle, or I don't. Some people just go crazy. Oh, they're covering up the exhaust. It's like, I don't think, it's just something to pick on, to be honest with you. If you don't like the way the vehicle looks, pick another one. It's that easy. Sir Frederick, nice to see you back, Sir Frederick. You mentioned, by the way, does your wife call you Sir Frederick? You mentioned Acura to be using Genesis as a benchmark. The G70 is already getting 2 new engines for 2021. The new Acura really needs to be in the 400 horsepower range if it wants to compete. Yes, so I think the G70 is probably going to have the same engines that are available in the GV80. So 400 horsepower, I think we're probably going to be getting close to that. I think that they're going to be competitive. Whether it's going to better the 3.3 liter G70 now with 365 horsepower, I bet you it's going to be more than that. And it's probably going to be in that 375 range. It doesn't, the horsepower to me isn't important. It's the torque, the mid and low range torque. That's what you use. You pay for horsepower, you use torque. So for me, and here's a perfect example. The Q50, what is it, the Red Sport, 400 horsepower. Well, it's got 400 horsepower, but it doesn't feel like it because it's kind of missing that low end snap. And I think that's more important. H. Howell 99. Hi, Zach. Loved your review of the new Sentra. Liked the Nismo Sentra with the turbo a few years back. Thoughts on the package for on this package for the new Sentra? Well, here's the thing: is I kind of put in my headline like I put here. I put Sentra is back, and I think in the video I got across it. I feel like Nissan is fighting back. They're coming with a lot of content in that car. They really sharpen their pencil on the price. The top end trim of the Sentra is less than the top end trim of its competitors, which will certainly get attention for people who are shopping for value. But if they want to keep the momentum going, they can't just do a one and done. They need to come out with, as you mentioned, like a Nismo version or something like that. I totally agree with you. It would be great if they did. They had performance versions of the Sentra over the years, and some of them were really a lot of fun to drive. One car, I'm trying to remember what it was. I know what it was. The original Altima, when the Altima first came out, I believe it was 1992. That was a great little car to drive. A manual transmission. It was just so tossable and fun. And then they let these things kind of flounder and lose their way. So hopefully they're not going to be one and done. They're going to come back with more. How come most of your cars you review in Vancouver have Ontario plates? These cars are owned by a corporation, right? They're owned by the Ford Motor Company. They're owned by Toyota Canada or whomever is providing the press car. In the province of British Columbia, each individual car needs to be insured. In the province of Ontario, you can have one insurance policy for a number of cars. So it's much more expensive to individually insure each car than it is to have one blanket policy that covers all of your vehicles. So what a lot of the car companies will do is, they're allowed to keep an out-of-province plate on a car for a certain number of weeks. I'm not sure what that is. And it's still insured and registered in an outside province, being the province of Ontario. So they do that because they're under one insurance policy versus multiple insurance policies, and that's why they do it. Now, not all of them do it, and some companies have a mix. Some of them are locally insured, and some of them are, insured under their Ontario policy. Namaste, Zach. I like that. That's good. That's good. Clever. Well done. I'm not sure if your name's Zach or you just came up with that for me. Acura announced the 2021 TLX S-Type will have 50% more lower end torque compared to the current 3.5 liter at 267 pound-feet of torque. Does that mean the Type S will have close to 400? No. What they're probably talking about is because the engine is turbocharged, they're going to probably have full torque at a lower RPM. I'll use like a BMW inline 6-cylinder. So I remember the very first time that I drove the 335, and I couldn't get over that this car had 300 pound-feet of torque, maximum torque at 1250 RPM, so barely above idle. So what they're probably referencing is 50% more torque at a certain RPM. Okay, so the torque rating for the current engine is probably higher, right? So it'll be maybe peak torque will be 2500 to 3500 RPM. That torque band will get brought down to like 1200 to 1500 RPM and up. So you'll get more torque at lower RPM. A big torque number like 400 pound-feet of torque, I don't think is realistic. Cocking the axle. I think cocking the axle is top 5 for sure. So we have DJ Pleasure Seeking Missile, we have Huge Haggis, we have cocking the axle in there. I'm missing one, I know. Hey Zach, as always, thanks for your time. It bothers me that CUVs don't have manual transmission. Likewise, the luxury hatchback example, the CX-30 GLA 250 X1, probably the upcoming Touareg from Volkswagen. Why? Jack, get beer. Yeah, I don't have a beer tonight. I've only got 50 minutes left. Cocking the axle, it just comes down to the numbers. It's not worth it for them to bring in yet another model when most people don't buy them. Most people aren't buying manuals in sports sedans, never mind in small SUVs. Typically what we see in vehicles like, say, the Qashqai, and I'm only saying this because it's one of the ones I recently know where they have a manual transmission, it's only front-wheel drive, it's only on the base model. You see that through the product cycles. Typically, they bring that in as a price point car for a specific market, Quebec, okay? In the province of Quebec, they drive more manual transmissions and they buy the lower-end vehicles. The exact opposite is true on this coast. Most of the cars that are bought in British Columbia are the high-end trims, and nobody's buying a manual transmission. It's purely a numbers game, okay? Joe says, I live 4 miles down a gravel road. Do you think the Mazda 6 or Camry would be okay? Which one has the best suspension? I really don't want to buy an SUV, but consider a CX-5 or RAV4. Well, here is a great follow-up to the question about the wheels and the tires, okay? What you want is you do not want a lower profile tire. You want a bigger tire and a smaller wheel for gravel roads, because that tire is what's going to absorb that initial rebound when it comes to a bump, especially when it comes to washboard. So I would look for a Mazda 6 or a Camry, and a Mazda 6 and Camry would easily go down a gravel road. Now, if it's an old logging road, that's not the case. But if it's just a gravel road, there's absolutely no problem. I grew up driving on gravel roads in Ontario. We had a farm up near Owen Sound, and our cottage was up near Algonquin Park, and we had a 5-mile road from the main highway into where we'd get the boat. And everybody drove a car then. Nobody drove SUVs or pickup trucks. So there's no problem about that. But really think about the size of wheel and tire. You want to have a smaller wheel, which will get you a thicker tire. And a thicker tire, if you're driving this road every single day, will give you that extra absorption over bumps. Now, you could split the difference and buy a vehicle like a Subaru Outback, which has the characteristics of a car, but more ride height, something like that. Or like an all-road, the Volkswagen all-road would be something to consider. But even the all-road, the ride clearance is only 15 millimeters higher than the regular sport wagon. I wish there was a Canadian car manufacturer that made a cool sports car. I wonder why we don't have one. We used to years ago called Bricklin. Bricklin. If you don't know about that, look it up. All right, somebody's giving me an update saying there's 131 viewers now. I'm going to go to anybody else want to give me an update? My dashboard sucks. The YouTube dashboard says I have 16 people on here right now, and I know it's way more than that. When the Genesis GV80 is coming to a Canadian market and is a good buy between the Lexus RX 350 F Sport, stuck between... I'm stuck between... Do the review of the Genesis GV80. I really appreciate your good work. Yeah, well, of course. As soon as the GV80 is here, and here's the good news, and I'm going to actually pitch this to Genesis. That car will be coming from Korea and arriving here in Vancouver. I think I should try and get one and do a video on it. This is not going to compete with the RX 350. The Genesis GV80 starts at $70,000 and is only 2 rows and 5 seats. If you want to get 3 rows and 7 passengers, you've got to go up to the larger 3.5 liter turbo and spend $80,000. I emailed the PR guy from Genesis. I said, is this right? You can't get the 3rd row of seats unless you start at $80,000, which was confirmed. And I think that's a major misstep. Now, this is something Genesis can easily fix in the next year. They could make the 2022 model with a 3rd row available with the smaller engine. And I think they will. I will almost make a bet on that today that that will happen. But yeah, it's not the same as the 350. Glenn says, I was injured in a rear-end collision 3 years ago. I paid my insurance for 50 years without a claim. The insurance company, my lawyers, and the tribunal made it as difficult as possible for me. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's why I pray I never get in an accident. I can deal with fenders and cars being fixed, but dealing with insurance companies and any injuries, you know, touch wood, doesn't happen. And hope you're feeling better. Hi, Zach. What do you think about the 2021 540 with the M Sport package? Sporty enough? Want a sporty 5 Series? Yes, I think it is. Here's an interesting story. I was at my friend's dealership, Core Cars, picking up this 968, and he told me that this specific car, he said the depreciation on them is incredibly fast. So my advice to you is not to get a brand new 540, is shop around for a 540 that's 2 years old. The depreciation on them is like this. He said in, I think, 2 years, they go down by about 50%. So do yourself a favor and buy a certified pre-owned 540 for way less. That's what I would do. Glenn says, can you do a segment on car insurance? I can't do a segment on car insurance because car insurance is different in different jurisdictions. Like I said, I live in the province of British Columbia. We have state-run, for a lack of a better term, insurance here, the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia. And in other parts of the country, it is private insurance, and it's different. So it would be too complex. Ben Mizrati. Hey, Ben, I haven't seen you here for a long time, so it's nice to see you back. How's the reliability record of the Audi DSG? My 2017 A4 will run out of 4-year warranty in October. Will it make sense to purchase additional coverage? Now, Ben, correct me if does it have a dual clutch? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, if you say it as a dual clutch, I'm trying to remember. They did have one with a Tiptronic and one with a dual clutch. I think it was the front wheel drive only. Anyway, here's the thing is, has the car been reliable? Have you had any issues with it? It's a 2017. You should be able to take it back or call your dealership and say, can I have the vehicle certified for the certified pre-owned warranty? Often what they'll do is they will sell you basically the service they do to bring the car up to their certified standards to get you 2 years of warranty. I think the Audi A4 has been a quite reliable car. I don't know the specifics on that DSG, but find out how much that insurance is going to cost you. Wee Haggis is back again. Hey, Zach, I also wanted to let you know I follow you on Instagram. Yeah, so my Instagram is motormouth_auto. And I'm really crap at letting everybody know about that. But yeah, if you could follow along on Instagram, that would be great. What do you think of the TLX Type S? Well, I think the fact that Acura is fighting back, I think this is going to become a very hotly contested segment that was kind of left for too long. Sort of the Japanese and Asian and Korean import compact sports sedan market is going to heat up. So the the G70, I should say, came out from Genesis 2 years ago and won all the awards. It won North American Car of the Year. Every auto journalist absolutely loved it. BMW's just come out with a new 3 Series. There's a new C-Class coming out probably later this year. Then you have the TLX. Then you've got the new IS from Lexus is going to be shown here in the next 2 weeks. So boy, things are really hotting up in this category, which is fantastic news. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the TLX until I get a chance to drive it, because the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. It's how it all comes together. I think it's really going to be a test to see how good it is. Is it as good as the G70? What's that, update going to be like? They're going to be updating their car as well. So all I can say is it's going to be good times if you're into the compact premium sports sedan market, which is still outside of SUVs the biggest category. Okay. In the premium space. So it's obviously utility vehicles like the X3, the Q5, the GLC, they sell the most, but outside of that, then it's into the sporty sedans. And here's the other thing. A lot of these brands are losing sales to who? Tesla with the Model 3. So they are going to throw everything they have at it. I bought a 6-year extended CPO off the Bring a Trailer, I think you mean, 8 years ago. Porsche gave me extra 2 years. Okay. Oh, off the bat, sorry. I bought the 6-year extended CPO off the bat 8 years ago. Porsche gave me 2 extra years, 8 years total. Again, CPO. This is not the Dieselgate major component 10-year warranty they are offering me. Yes, so Mac Daddy, back to your Cayenne diesel question. So you have 8 years of coverage with that Cayenne, but you want to go back and then find out what else is covered with the Dieselgate warranty. The Dieselgate warranty covers a lot. I mean, a lot of stuff. So a lot of really expensive things that are going to break are going to be covered. A lot of things that could also be expensive are not covered. But it comes down to how well do you sleep at night. $5,000 seems expensive. I think you could probably get a better deal than that. Hey Zach, wish you all the best these days. I'm just wondering if you came across the 2020 Armada physically or through leaked intelligence in your realm of operations. Well, Armada was just done a year or 2 years ago. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything or heard anything about it. I apologize. Okay, it says 176 on here. That's good. Jorge is saying he's having a beer for me. Thank you. Appreciate that. My son, Jack, out of the will. You're out of the will, Jack. Jack, you didn't bring me a beer.
Oh, sorry.
He forgot, he says. It's okay. Don't get it now because I'm almost done. All right. My fiance is looking at a small, reliable, frugal, all-wheel drive sedan. I'm thinking of an Impreza or a Mazda 3. We live far in the country in Quebec and want her to be safe. Comfort is important. Your pick. Comfort is important. Your pick. Well, I think either one of these is going to be fine. If you're in Quebec and you live far in the country, well, you're dealing with snow, as you know. And so the Mazda 3 is available with all-wheel drive. So you're probably looking between those two cars. The Impreza is going to have more ground clearance, depending on what part of Quebec you're in and just how much snow you get. And I know in Quebec you get a lot of snow. So, okay, follow-up, 30,000 budget. Comfort is important because she has back pains. Well, this is one where you really have to try it. I would probably suspect that the Outback, the Crosstrek or the Impreza might be the way you want to go. The doors are bigger, easier to get in and out of, and the Mazda 3 is quite sort of low slung. So if she has a bad back, you have to just get out there and try them, would be my best piece of advice. The other one that you might want to consider, even though it's not available with all-wheel drive, but it's certainly going to be reliable. And as you know, you have to run winter tires in Quebec. A Corolla hatchback might not be a bad way to go. Okay. All right, I'm just looking at some of these. Oh, Derek's writing back on the Durango. Yes, we have enjoyed it, and it is a lot of fun to drive. I love the Hemi. Reliability so far has been good. There you go. That's from Derek Tucker talking about his Durango and confirming what I've said for many years. American brands can make some excellent products, and I think the Durango is an excellent product. I think the Grand Cherokee is an excellent product. Basically the same. One has got 7 seats and the other one doesn't. But there you go. 100,000 kilometers on its Durango, and he's had no problems with it. It's really how well you sleep at night, whether you think it's going to stay that way. All right, I think that I am going to say goodnight. It's been an hour. I thank everybody for being here. If I didn't get to your question, I will, of course, read them all. Don't forget to sign up for Car Cost Canada. Those rebates and incentives are going to be coming on hard and thick here for the next few months. You want to be ready to check out the prices. Go to Car Cost Canada, use the promo code Motormouth, and find out for yourself. And please tell your friends and neighbors if they're looking for a car. Don't be a dummy. Sign up and find out what the dealer pays for a car. What else do I have to say? Yeah, so tomorrow they're going to show the 4 Series from BMW. I'm going to try and turn around a video as quickly as I can, okay? Everybody have a great night. I'm going to eat. What are we having for dinner tonight? I forgot what it... Oh, tacos. It's not Taco Tuesday in our house, Taco Monday. I'll talk to you on Thursday. Chat then.